It's another edition of Time About the Movies. Today we're taking a look at the middle of November, November 15th, 2002. Only two movies to look at today. One of the biggest releases of the year, the other, not so much. Let's talk about the big new release of the weekend, and that is, of course, the sequel to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. That is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Harry Potter. Such an honor it is. Who are you? Dobby the House Elf. Harry Potter must not go back to Hogwarts this year. We're getting close. Hold on. If Harry Potter goes back to school, he will be in great danger. I shall not time to kill.
Hogwarts is no longer safe. The Chamber of Secrets has been opened.
So it really is a Chamber of Secrets?
Yes. McGonagall's worried. All the teachers are.
The chamber is said to be the home of a monster.
You three had best be looking after yourselves.
Do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets? Scared, Potter? You wish. Don't panic.
Let's match the power of Slytherin against the famous Harry Potter. Can we panic now?
This is, of course, a sequel to the Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, where you have Harry, Ron, and Hermione coming back for their second year at Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and the heir of Salazar Slytherin opens the Chamber of Secrets, unleashing a monster that petrifies the school students. And comparing this to the other Harry Potter movies, this may be seen as the lesser of the films, mostly because each one of the films that came after this did get better in terms of quality and going for the more darker approach. But you can definitely notice the early signs coming in with this film that this series was about to take somewhat of a dark turn. I mean, it's not completely all the way as where it would be when the films end, but none of these movies in the regular Harry Potter film series were bad films. I mean, once we get to Fantastic Beasts, then we could talk about really bad Harry Potter movies, but all 7 movies from Harry Potter, 8 movies, because the last one was split up into 2, all 8 movies are very good in their own different ways. And this one, Sorcerer's Stone and Deathly Hallows Part 1, could be considered the lesser of the series, but none of these movies are terrible per se. And this film is very good. It's a very solid film. And it's a good film that shows the natural progression of where these movies are going to eventually go. Like, we know the next film is going to be The Prisoner of Azkaban, which is often considered by many as the best of the Harry Potter films. And keep in mind, this is still directed by Christopher Columbus, who is directing these as kids' movies, which makes sense because the characters are still kids in this, and as the films go along, they'll get older. That means we're going to deal with the more darker territory and more adult territory. But this is an early sign of what's to come here, and I really like the aspects that they have in this movie. The film overall is really good. A lot of the sets and the performances from the last film are still very strong. You have Kenneth Branagh, Robbie Coltrane, Jason Isaacs, John Cleese, Toby Jones as Dobby showing up in here. I mean, of course, you got Daniel Radcliffe, Rupert Grint, and Emma Watson all still performing as well as they should. I mean, there's really not much more to add to this that hasn't already been said already. It is definitely a film that's on par, if not a little bit better than what the last film was able to do. The last film was introducing us to this world. Second film comes along, it's just like, okay, you've established your universe, now go ahead and build on it. And I think they did a pretty good job of building on it with what they were able to accomplish here. The action sequences are still a lot of fun. There's still a lot of good elements in there thrown all throughout. And again, even though it comes off as very kid-filmish, we're still at the point where this is still very much kid friendly, and we're about to head into more darker territories as we move along here. But it is a very good film. It's a film that is still really good. It's definitely the lesser of the films in general, but like I said, there's never been one bad Harry Potter film in the official canon, not including spin-offs. But this may be seen as one of the lesser ones, but there's still a lot about it that I say is really worth it in the end. So again, not much more I can add to this that hasn't already been said already, but Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is a fun movie. It's a very good film, a very good adaptation of the book, and it definitely shows what a sign of things to come going forward with the Harry Potter films. And yeah, again, not much more I can add to this. So that's Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So let's go ahead and move on to that other movie that came out this weekend that got a wide release, and you immediately will start to wonder and ask yourself, why did this get a wide release? This is Steven Seagal's last theatrical film, Half Past Dead.
You Alcatraz. The biggest problem isn't breaking out. But you have this. You want to play rough? Sorry, I'm not into men. Dealing with the guys who just broke in. It's a party, boys.
Why are you doing this?
$200 million worth of U.S. gold plate. What's going on? We got a problem.
Past Dead.
That's what I'm talking about.
Rated PG-13. Opens November 15th.
From the same director that will give us such great masterpieces like Who's Your Caddy, Jarhead 2, Lake Placid, The Final Chapter, Kindergarten Cop 2, Dead Fish Beyond Anarchy, The Scorpion King Book of Souls. Okay, I think you know where I'm going with here. This is not a very good director, nor is this a very good movie, but I digress. You have a story of a criminal who infiltrates a prison to investigate a prisoner about the location of a future of fortune and gold, while an undercover FBI agent has to stop him. The FBI agent being Steven Seagal, and you also have Morris Chestnut, Ja Rule, Corrupt, who actually showed up in the second film, Nia Peoples, Andrew Stevens, who of course would later go on to produce many of Steven Seagal's direct-to-video films that would follow from this. Like I said before, this was the last theatrical release of Steven Seagal's career, and it just really shows that his time was pretty much up at this point as far as a leading actor during an action film goes. I mean, he had that streak in the early 90s, but then he just kept making the same movies over and over again, and just like it's like more of his flaws started to come out with every later film that came from him. I mean, this is a movie that definitely shows why this guy is not that as good as we gave him credit for, because a lot of those things that would become notorious in his direct-to-video films show up in this movie, and boy, do they show up. I mean, lines that are poorly put together, and scenes where you can clearly tell that is not Steven Seagal doing those action stunts. That is somebody that's clearly 20 years older, is like 20 pounds lighter than what Steven Seagal is doing these action moves. It's just like, come on, man. Like I know that people go to see these movies because they know they're stupid, but they're not that stupid to figure out that that's not Steven Seagal. The audience is not that stupid to figure that out. And yeah, this is just, it's about as bad as you think. It's about as bad as you expect it to be. And quite honestly, I don't really know why would you be going into this movie not thinking it was going to be something this terrible. But here we are. But you know, I don't even want to say that Steven Seagal's direct-to-video movies that at this point were even those so bad it's good type of movies. They're just so bad. Like, they're so bad at how they're put together. Like, Steven Seagal doesn't even put the effort to be in those movies. Like, it's like I said, starting with this movie, you could definitely tell that he's doing more, somebody else is doing more ADR with him not even being there. Like, he was there on set when they were filming it, but it's like they couldn't even bother to get him to come back and re-record these lines in the movie. And like I said, you will notice a ton of flaws that will later become prominent in direct-to-DVD Steven Seagal films going from this point forward. You know, the bad editing, the boom mics that keep showing up randomly out of nowhere, the scenes where you can clearly tell it's not Steven Seagal. It's all over this movie, and this is a big studio release. Like, this is a Columbia Pictures release, and I just realized why this is bad too, because not only do you have the combination of Steven Seagal, but I just looked at the production company behind this. Guess who it is? Good old Franchise Pictures. I mean, wow. I did not even notice that until I just turned my head and just saw on the Wikipedia page. Franchise Pictures is the production company behind this. that makes much more sense now on why this is bad. Like, this is like a match made in heaven. Like, the worst action star out there with the worst film company out there, and they merged together. And I think they were both behind a lot of Seagal's direct-to-DVD movies, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it's a match made in heaven, or in this case, a match made in hell. But yeah, I did not realize that Franchise Pictures was behind this until I literally looked and saw that. It's just like, oh shit, Franchise Pictures, oh no. Oh boy, it makes too much sense now why this movie is so bad. Like, if you see that Franchise Pictures label on there, it's just like, it's dead on arrival. It is really, really dead on arrival when you really think about it. And yeah, not much more to say about this one. I mean, Steven Seagal and Franchise Pictures, those are the two signs right off the get-go that you should say as clear the hell away from this movie as you can get. But yeah, that's Half Price Dead. I'm flabbergasted that this is Franchise Pictures. I'm getting the name wrong. Half Price Dead. That'd be a good spin-off for Half Price Books. Half Past Dead. Avoid it like the plague. And so on that note, we wrap up another edition of Time About the Movies. The next time we meet, we'll head into pre-Thanksgiving weekend. We'll take a look at Pierce Brosnan in his last film as James Bond, Die Another Day. We also have the return of Ice Cube and Mike Epps in Friday After Next, the holiday third film in the Friday franchise. And we also have, The Emperor's Club. We'll take a look at those three films next time. But until then, thank you so much for watching. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the place on the next page, check out the previous episode, and also don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this on this channel. So, with that said, I am off. I will see you guys next time, and until then, as always, take care.